Good morning. In this video, we will be discussing some exercises for the topic exception handling. The first question, which of the following statement throw an exception? So the first statement, system.out.println 1 divided by 0. An integer divided by 0 throws an arithmetic exception, which is divided by 0. And here in this statement, system.out.println 1.0 floating point number divided by 0 doesn't throw arithmetic exception. The first statement throws arithmetic exception, second statement doesn't throw. Okay, point out a problem here. Here the first statement, value is a variable, it's of long type, it's assigned to a maximum value of that long type plus 1. So what is the maximum value? Every type has a range of allowed values. So here it's assigned with the maximum value plus 1. So it is going beyond the range, but still new version of Java doesn't throw any exception. So here no exceptions. So what does the JVM do when an exception occurs? JVM looks for the handler to handle that exception. How can you catch an exception? You need to have the try catch. Catch is the exception handler. Catch the exception and to handle the exception. Your program needs to have try catch. Here in this program, what is the output of the following code? So you have an integer variable with a value 30. Sorry, if the value is less than 40, yeah, here the value is less than 40, the condition is true. So it throws a new exception with a message called value is too small. So that exception is caught in this catch block. Okay then, so the catch block prints a message. It says get message. So this is a method. It returns the value of the object class constructor, the exception class constructor. So when you create an object of the exception, you have the string here. That string will be printed here. After printing this message, after executing the handler, this statement will continue. So what is the output? If the value is equal to 30, value is too small, plus this message, both will be printed. In case that statement value equal 30 is changed to value equal 50, so come back. You change the value to 50. So the condition is false. So there is no exception thrown. Catch block is not executed. Straight away this print statement will be executed. Okay. Show the output of the following code. Here you have a program. When you look into program A and program B, this one, question A and question B, it looks like same, but there is a difference. Can you see here? You have a for loop. Inside the for loop, you have a try catch block, and there is a difference here. Inside the try block, you have the for statement. Okay, so that's the difference. So the output will also differ here. So what will be the output? So here the for statement starts from 0, 1, 0. I value start the counter value starts from 0 until 1. So because it says I less than 2, I less than 2 here. So 0, 1. This is the 2 times the for loop will be executed. Okay then. So first time when I value is 0, it prints the value 0. So let me write it. So it will print the value 0, and there is an exception here because 1 divided by 0, it throws an exception. So that's caught here. Nothing is printed here. Okay, because there is no statement here. So it goes back to the for loop. The value of I will be incremented 1 to 1, and what will be printed? System.out.println I value, which is 1. So which is 1. So 1 will be printed, and 1 divided by 0 throws an exception. It's caught here. Nothing is done. So no statements, nothing is done. So it goes back to the for loop. Actually the range is over, so the program terminates. So the output is 0 and then 1. So this is the output of this program. Okay, let's see the second one. The for loop is inside the try block. So same for loop. I ranges from 0 to 1. So when I becomes 0, it prints the value 0. Let me print it. So it prints the value of I. So this is the output I'm highlighting here. And the next statement, you divide 1 by 0, it throws the arithmetic exception which is caught here, and then it goes after the try catch. There is nothing. So end of the program. So that's it. This is the output. 0 is the output. Okay. Actually, we saw in our chapter 12, there are many types of exception. So we have a throwable class. It has two children, error and exception. Error has many children like IO exception, runtime exception, etc. like checked, unchecked. So those many types of exceptions are there. Okay, let's see what type of exceptions are thrown in this small programs. Okay, the first program here, system.out.println 1 divided by 0. Anything divided by 0 throws arithmetic exception. So exception thrown here is arithmetic exception. Okay, and let's go here. Integer, this is an array. List is an array of integer value, contains 5 elements. So the index, 5 elements means the index ranges from 0 to 4. But here system.out.println list of 5. So the index ranges from 0 to 4 only. There is no element with the index 5. So this throws an array index out of bounds exception. This is not a new exception. You already studied or encountered this when you study Java 2, where you have when we try program with arrays, you might have come across this type of exception. Okay. Okay, the next program is you have a string s equals abc. So this is the characters of the string abc. Again, the index, the position starts from 0, 1, 2. That's it. So here you are trying to print character at position number 3. There is no position 3. We have 0, 1 and 2. So the exception called is string index out of bounds exception. Okay, so this is the exception called in this program. Just a second, let me put it in the same line. Okay, and the next few examples, you create an object O equal new object of. So here you are creating an object which is an object of a class called object. And then this is the O, and then you try to change to string. Okay, this is casting. Okay, we already discussed in the inheritance, when you cast it, a subclass object can be cast to a superclass object, not the vice versa. So the exception thrown here is class cast exception. This one we already studied in chapter 11. And the next, you create an object O equals null. So the object O is null already. Now you are trying to call O dot toString. O is already null. Null dot toString, it calls null pointer exception. This null pointer exception also you came across when you studied data structure. So this is also not a new thing. And this one, system.out.println 1.0 divided by 0, it throws no exception at all, because just now I said dividing a floating point number by 0 throws no exception, but dividing an integer number by 0 throws an arithmetic exception. So no exception is thrown here. And here let's suppose that you have a try and then two catch blocks. So suppose statement 2, this statement throws an exception. So when a statement throws an exception, what happens? Let's answer this question. Will statement 3 will be executed? When statement 2 throws an exception, statement 3 will not be executed. Okay, it will not be executed. If the exception is not caught, will statement 4 will be executed. Where is the statement 4? It's here. When the exception is caught means you have a catch block. When you throw an exception and it's caught in any of the catch block, and if it is not caught means you do not have a catch block. So JVM handles that exception. So will statement 4 will be executed? No. If the exception is caught in any of the catch block, will statement 4 executed? Of course, it will be executed. Okay, what is the displayed, what will be displayed when you run this program? Here you have an integer. When you have an integer, you declare an integer array, by the way, and it contains 10 elements. Now, you are trying to print a list of 10. I told you we don't have 10. It starts from 0 to 9. There is no element with the index 10. So, this throws an exception called array index out of bound exception, which is a subclass of runtime exception. So, this will be printed. Runtime exception. This message will be printed. It's not an arithmetic exception. And this is super, if it can't find any of these catch block, so this is a super class will be considered. The exception is caught in this catch block. If none of the previous catch blocks were found. Okay, catch blocks are matching with the same exception, the superclass, because exception is a superclass, okay, that will be executed. In this exercise, runtime exception, this exception is caught and this message will be printed. Remember, when you are writing the catch blocks, if you have more than one catch block, write the super class at the bottom. Very last. Do not write the superclass first, subclass second. No, it should not write like that.